Oh, I don't need it. Oh, no.
We're live. Greetings. So, today, personal responsibility. Actually, quite a big subject, really. Actually, quite a big subject.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me start off and say the reason why I've decided to talk about personal responsibility. There's a few reasons anyway, but one of them was because of an incident that happened. When I say incident, serious incident that happened to a young lady here in Leeds recently. I'm not sure if we need to start with that one or not. I think we'll come back to it. You guys, in fact, I don't think I'll forget anyway. But what I do want to start with, though, and I suppose for some people they'll wonder how does this fit personal responsibility, but it does. I'm vexed. In fact, let me take off with you. Yes, I'm vexed. I hope more people will eventually come on and they'll hear this, particularly and especially our Black people, our Caribbean people in particular. You know, Steve McQueen disrespected us big time, right? So now here's the question. Now would be done. So what's the idea of personal responsibility for us in that? Well, personal responsibility is that we must tell the truth, and he did not tell the truth in his little rubbish program, right? And I'm sorry, but I have to call it that. I don't remember even what the title was, but, because as far as I'm concerned, the title was foolishness, right? It was supposed to be the depiction of a blues, right? So we're talking like my era when I was a youth, right? Not giving away too much, but I did find myself somehow into quite a few of them. That's all I'm saying, right? So back in the day, when it was blues, there was a certain style to it, you know. Lovers rock mainly. Anyway, at that time there was two genres for us here in the UK that was heavy. It was, it was lovers rock and roots, but the two were kind of separate. If you went to a blues and it was lovers rock, then basically that's what it was. And you would hear a bit of, commercial, other type of reggae as well. But it was a lot of lovers rock. Wouldn't suddenly switch to, Rastaman vibration. You didn't really have the two at the same time. Now this idiot in the program made Black people of that era look like they're stupid. Like they first like a blues was some kind of wild thing. No, it was a well organized and established thing. You understand? Gate man, they had that right, but they're calling him a doorman. Nobody called him a doorman in those days. The man who was on the front is a gate man, not a doorman, right? Because this is not a nightclub. It was a gate man, and he was there to collect the money. Yes, they had that right, and he did used to let in ladies for free. So fine, that part no problem. But then some things that happen inside the thing, it's not possible. It's not possible, and this is where now, for me, I'm saying that, okay, our personal responsibility in this as Black people is that we've got to tell the truth. I've got two daughters here who are not from that era. They know I talk about all these things anyway, and I tell them, but then even my granddaughter will have no clue. She might even watch that and think, oh, is that how they were? No, it is not how they were. There were so many things that were wrong with it that I wish it had never been aired. And I'm praying, and I hope some people will pray with me that I could get enough money to have a TV and recording studio of my own, because I'll put out some proper programs, well researched and with the right caliber of people to show how it was done. You see? Imagine rubbish, pure rubbish. They showed them at the beginning cooking. I mean, the pot was like this, right? That they're cooking goat. I didn't see not even one person with a plate of goat in their hand. That would have never happened. The kitchen would have been on lock. Everybody would have been there for food, right? The whole point of those parties, one of the things about those parties was the food. Everybody was there to have food. Everybody was having a plate of food. Even people that I mean, I really eat from people. They'll be eating at a place, right? Trust me. So that part. Then now, a guy is there dancing with a woman, rubbing up and blah blah blah. He's taking her outside, and she, where are you taking me? That would have never happened, and none of her friends would have been looking to see where she's gone. It's a lie. The man tried to rape the woman, and then when he was caught, and the girl just cut him a little bit at the side of his neck, my man has walked off and he's gone back in the dance. Let me tell you, you must be mad. You think we came from underneath a basket, right? That we don't have, that people don't have any. And no, it's a lie. It would have never happened. It would have never happened. And okay, for those people who don't know about that era and stuff like that, they probably think, well, we don't care. But the problem is that it's a depiction of us, you know, as a black people, and it's wrong, right? It's wrong. Caribbean people in the 70s, you know, in the Lovers Rock era, if you like, in the UK, it wasn't like that. That guy who tried to rape that woman, he couldn't come back in that dance. The whole dance would have had to mash up before he would be able to get back in there. And he's just in there like nothing happened. Like we don't care and we don't take responsibility for each other. It's a lie. It's a lie. And it's so disappointing to have seen that, you know, this is what's being offered up of how they you know, we're supposed to be viewed. No, it was wrong. It vexed me. It vexed me. And then they have to bring in the nasty, dirty lesbian business into it. Why? Why? Let me tell you, and it's not even a joke. You see in that era, yes, lesbians and so forth would have existed, but let me tell you, you see in that era, in like how they showed in the house in the blues, where enough people are in the house, see that little nasty kiss upstairs, it would have never happened. Impossible, because they don't know who will walk in on them, and they already know it will be the end of the world. So no, it's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. But this is the depiction of the, oh, you know, that's just how it is. No. And then they've got the men there dancing like they were possessed, taking off their shirts and all these things. No, as if we don't have respect. No, guys in those days, they used to dress sharp. Which man would have been taking off his shirt and his vest and bare chested in a blues dance? Never. No, never. I'm sorry. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. Anyway, enough about that, because you know I just can't. No. We need to do better than that, and you know, somebody has to be responsible to tell the truth. You know, because that's not it. That is not how it was. That's not who we are. There's so many artists they could have asked who would have contributed, even if it was just for advice and information. You know, no, they just go and disrespect us like that, and it was rubbish.
Yeah, because they obviously weren't asking anybody who was there in those times.
No.
You know, and you know, there's enough people in London who they could have asked.
Of course. But the thing is,
even had for the film.
But the thing is, a lot of those artists are still around. Yeah. You know, Winsome, Sandra Cross, you know, and others, they're still around. You know, they're not dead. And they could have asked them, even their Janet Kay, they rinsed out Janet Kay's song and mashed it up to nothing. They could have asked her. You know? Remixes. Oh, no. I just, no. Anyway. That's my little gripe over. So, because you know, I could make the whole program about that. So let's get on to the other things. So let's start with this lady. I start there because I got such a backlash from some proper, you know, idiot keyboard ninjas, as I call them. You know, those people who think that they're a bad man because they can type on a keyboard and call you names and tell you this and tell you. And I'm like, really? It's just you're just on a laptop or an iPad. So what are you really saying? You know? And here's the story. I'm gonna say my bit. My two daughters are here, so they can say whether they think what I'm saying is a load of rubbish or not. This young lady, a student here in the city of Leeds, where we are, and it wasn't really that late. It was about 9 p.m., 9 something, going towards 10. You know, she, as most young people are, totally obsessed with her phone. It's run out of charge. So she was going home, but she needed to get her phone charged. So she's so bothered about the phone, you see. So now this guy comes up to her and says to her, "Oh, you know, hello, blah 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 blah. I'm a student as well. I go to wherever, whatever it is. I can charge your phone because I live near." Right? Now she's supposed to be waiting for it, try to hail a taxi to go home. My man is busy telling her, "I can charge your phone at my yard, you know, and then you'll be off if you need your phone, you know, because of the taxi or whatever." So she's followed the man to his yard, right? Because he told her he's a student. She's by herself. She's left from whichever bar or pub or whatever it was she's in. She's by herself. She's followed the man to his yard. So they've plugged in the phone to do the charging, and my man has decided he must plug in something else, somewhere else. So he has tried to rape her. Right? I think, according to the story, I'm not sure if he actually did rape her or it's classified as attempted rape. But in any case, it was a serious sexual assault.
Yeah.
Okay, so then she's managed to leave there. Obviously, she's called the police and got him arrested. So now, you know, it's gone to court and so forth. So now it's reached the newspapers. So people have made various comments, you know, about it. So I said, look, whether we like it or not, she has some responsibility here.
Yeah, of course.
Right? I am a hypocrite.
Hypocrite.
This is now the keyboard ninjas. You're a hypocrite. You call yourself a Christian. You're evil. All of this because I said that she has some responsibility.
But she does.
You are victim blaming. I said, okay. I said, I've never blamed her because she's you should be blaming the perpetrator, the rapist or attempt, you know. I said that's standard. We're not even, that's not even the point. The point is that and even if whosoever watches this now or later, if you think I'm wrong, then please comment and say. As far as I'm concerned, you're a young woman and a stranger. Let me emphasize again, stranger. Not even, and by the way, people do get raped by people who they're familiar with.
Yeah.
Let alone strangers.
Exactly.
This is a stranger, somebody who you do not know in any way, shape, or form. You don't know anything about him except that he told you he goes to so and so college or university. He's a student. Maybe he did. Maybe he did, but it doesn't matter. He's a stranger. So you now go to his yard. We're not talking about even chatting on the street or in a bar or a restaurant. You go to the man's yard. Yeah? Why have you gone to his yard? Right? And you believe that you don't have any personal responsibility to look after your own personal safety and your own physical health, you know, your own body, as it were. Right? As a young woman, why did you take yourself and go to that man's yard? Right? That's the first point. Right? So now you've gone there. So now they're cussing me. Yeah, what happened? You don't have any compassion. I said, no, it's not about that. I said, now when you're going to teach someone about understanding boundaries, personal safety, and so forth. What are you going to say? Don't worry if he's a stranger, he's a man, and you're a woman. Just go to his house.
Yeah,
No.
you're not.
Absolutely not. My daughters are here. They'll talk just now, and they'll tell you, what I've told them when they were younger, and even until now. Right? And let any man ask them on the road any rubbish. Yeah? They can talk for themselves.
The scum.
Right?
I think that you give off that aura that makes them already know.
The state don't chat to me.
yeah. Well, like when Dad was saying the story, you already saw my reactions because you can charge your phone. What's wrong with McDonald's or
Right.
somewhere like that to charge your phone if you need it so hard? And if that man wants to offer, if that man wants to offer some, some help, why didn't you ask him to ring you a taxi from where you are? Yeah, on his phone. Why aren't you asking him to do that so that you can then go straight home?
Yeah.
You don't need your phone while you're in the taxi going straight home. I'm not understanding it.
No,
Mm.
I don't really see
Well,
why you would then
unless she's trying to say that she needed it because she's scared of the taxi driver. I don't.
But then that
You know.
makes sense to me because if you're so scared of the taxi driver, then
Don't
you need
go
a
in his
phone.
taxi.
Don't go in a taxi and
Go in
why
another
then
one.
go to some man's yard that just came up to you and told you he can charge your phone. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry,
No.
and I would never do it.
No.
That's the funniest thing. And people like to. The thing is, anyway, you know how it is in the world nowadays. You can't say anything or say you can't tell the truth. You have to sugarcoat everything or be too nice to people. Because at the end of the day, she shouldn't have gone to that man's yard.
No, she
Yeah, and that's not the first story that I've heard and thought, well, you shouldn't have gone to that man's yard. And I'm not joking when I'm saying that. There's many stories. There's even somebody I know, and the same thing happened to them. They went to meet someone, went to his house like a fool. I even said, why are you going to his house?
But it's true though.
Meet him
Jesus
outside.
Outside public
Yeah.
space,
Yeah.
Meet him
somewhere
outside.
where there's cameras.
Yeah, where people can see you. You know you're going to be safe.
These things are standard, not just even for women, even men. Even men. You see, even young guys who are, roadman, if you like, and they might have beef with the next crew or whatever, and they want to meet and they want to chat, blah blah blah. You meet public where everybody can see, where there's CCTV and everything. Right
at the yard.
They're not going to no deserted park and all that.
No.
It doesn't happen. And so now, when we talk about this, now they're telling you that you're victim blaming, and you have no compassion and no understanding and all of this. And I'm wondering, but first and foremost,
Yeah, we're sorry that happened to the girl, but
I'm sorry, but she put herself in a wrong position.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, my daughters, they know, but for anybody who's watching and you don't know, for a long time professionally, I taught personal safety, self-defense, right? And even control and restraint.
Yeah.
So I'm not just talking out one of my nostrils, right? And blowing trumpet. I know what I'm talking about, right? I taught security for years. Yeah, this is my field. But aside from that, I have a brain. And some people, it looks like when they go on the road, they leave their brain inside their bedroom.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's just the problem. Walk with your brain, young people, especially young ladies.
Because I see a lot on Twitter, right? What usually happens is I saw this video, and this is the funniest thing. I saw this video, right? The video is not funny, but the comments were. Because what had happened was there was a little girl, I think she must have been about Alexis's age, about 13, 14. And some man has just picked her up on the road there. And he's telling her, some lady was walking and she said she's seen him and he had his hand over her mouth like this. So she obviously was alarmed by this. So she went and got her sister and her mum and they followed him. I think so, yeah. And she followed them. They followed him, and started recording him. And then he's there, she's my family.
Oh, yes, I know of it.
Get off, she's my family and all this, right? But then obviously eventually he's ran off because, as we know, he was trying to kidnap
She
her.
started filming.
Yeah, and the little girl said, like, you know, he was trying to make me do things and all this. Now, the comments that I saw on there was saying, oh, why is she walking to school on her own? What are you talking
Because
about?
young people do walk to school on
What
their
are
own.
you talking about?
Yeah.
Hundreds and thousands of young people every day
Yeah.
walk to school on their own.
Listen, in
We did.
Japan, they will go to school on the
They're
tram,
small.
the train, and they're like 8, 7, from 5. They go to school by themselves, yeah. And why? Because clearly their society is more
They can behave themselves a bit better. with that.
themselves,
But
yeah.
also, I would like to say that although, you know, we've called it personal responsibility, let's say that we could have said, if you like, personal responsibility versus parental responsibility, because there needs to be an element of both,
Yeah.
particularly for children and young people.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you're an adult, we would hope and pray that by then you know, you've carried your brain with you long enough, and, you know, that you understand how to use it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that doesn't happen either. But I'll come back to that because I have another point to make about the students again, and we have plenty of them in our city.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, you know, teaching your children, and especially the daughters, maybe, you know, young guys, we have to teach them to be careful about the ends, right? And it's not even a joke, and that's even in a place like Leeds, which obviously it's not peak like London.
Yeah.
Right, but even here, you've got to teach your young guys to watch where they're walking and who they're walking with and at what time. They have to know that, because certain areas that they walk, they're going to get broke up, right? And it's standard. It's unfortunate, but it's a reality. So you have to tell them, well, then don't go there, and don't walk there by yourself, or don't go there any at all. It has to be said, and it has to be emphasized, and you have to keep on saying it.
Yeah.
Parental responsibility first, and then it becomes the personal responsibility of that youth to listen and think about what he's been told or advised and put it into action.
Yeah.
The same with the ladies, some standard things, you know, that you need to teach your daughters from day one, right? Oh, well,
Why should we have
Yeah,
to teach? This is the. Why should we have to teach?
but this is that's what came up on that thing on
men-
that website. Whatever it was, when they were cursing me out.
Yeah.
That was one of the things. Why should we have to tell them anything? Because
The
you
men
do.
should listen, right?
Because you do.
This is what I'm going to tell them about that program I watched last night. This is the reason why you must teach your daughters to be wary of certain types of individuals and, you know, their surroundings. So there's what's it called? Something like 999. What's your emergency or whatever that show is called?
Oh, yeah.
None of them things on TV. I just turned it on and it was on, and I thought, oh, this is interesting. I'll watch. So I was watching, and there was this one man that they brought in, right, because he had been harassing this woman that lived close by to him on the next farm or something. He was on some farmer, and, you know, with the accent and everything. And the man was saying to him, he was saying, why? He was going, why am I here? Well, I don't even understand why I'm here. I don't understand what I've done wrong. And the man saying to him, the woman has told you don't come to her yard, and you're coming there even at 3 a.m. And then the man's there.
That's not allowed.
No. And the man's there laughing. And he said, why are you laughing? And he was like, this is a serious matter. And he was like, I know, but I just don't really understand what the issue is. And he said, well, why were you going there at 3 a.m.? And he was like, because I wanted to speak to her. Yeah. And then the man, that's what the man said. He was like, at 3 a.m. you wanted to speak to her. He was like, answer the question, yes or no, is this about sex? Then the man was like, no, it's not about sex. And he said, so why are you going there at 3 a.m.? Then the man was, oh, because I fancy her. And he was like, so it is then. And then he was there, oh, yes, then it is. And he was like, do you understand the word no? What do you think? Why do you think that she's doing this? That's what the man said to him. And the farmer man said, oh, I don't know. Maybe she just loves it. And the man was like, well, this is where the problem is. He said, because you're not getting it. He said, you already went to jail, a few years ago because of the same thing, some harassment issues and breaking a what do you call it, restraining order
Restraining
and all
order.
these things. And he said, yeah, and then the man was going, yes, I know I went to jail. He said, and I couldn't understand it then either. You see, so somebody like that, imagine you meet him and then you're saying, oh, go into his yard. And you're telling him no. He doesn't even
He's not
understand.
understanding the no.
He doesn't get
And,
it.
you know,
And he wasn't joking.
it's
It wasn't an
unfortunate.
act.
You know, when I put the comment about the lady on the website, I put it there because I understand also the mind of a rapist.
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't for me to put all of that there because it wasn't necessary. But now these keyboard ninjas start jumping on, calling me names, you're this, you're that, and what do you know, and all of this. Well, actually, I probably know quite a lot more than they do because I worked as a prison officer and I locked up plenty of rapists. And part of my role as a personal officer was to complete parole reports on these guys. So we would sit down and we would discuss deeply their criminality, the particular crime or crimes that they committed, you know, particularly that live crime as well as some of the past ones.
Yeah.
And we would make judgments and assessments about them from our discussions. I've spoken to many rapists, and surprisingly enough, some of them really are nasty people.
Yeah.
They actually literally don't think that they've done anything wrong.
Yes.
Even after they've got 9-10 year sentence or whatever it may be, they're still saying, what?
Yeah.
What? No, I don't
wrong.
see what I did wrong
Don't
because
you want to
A,
get
B,
moved on?
C, D, and they give you all their reasons.
Mhm.
And this is why I say that even for there must be some personal responsibility.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that to say that I don't see that the because I used to even lock them up myself, you know, and I didn't feel sorry for them and say, oh dear, this guy, I'm having to lock him in his cell and he's a rapist. No, he's been sentenced and I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
Get in your cell, right? And I didn't think anything more than that. There's no discussion beyond when I had to discuss. And when they would sit there telling me, yeah, no, it's not me, it was her, or it was him, or it was whatever, you know, reasoning and it's, no. And far be it from me to, you know, because that's not the remit of today. But you don't even know what I know. Some of the murderers who I have looked after and sat down and interviewed them and discussed. You would be shocked to death if you know the stories. And some of them sit there and they're telling you, no, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
You've taken somebody's life in cold blood, as it were, and you're still sitting there looking me in my face, you know, and telling me, no, it's not my fault. So here's the thing. Everybody wants to slope off from personal responsibility.
Because even then,
You know, so even if we take it on the level of the murderer wants to slope off from personal responsibility. Do you understand? Now, I'm not saying that means that nothing can ever happen in any way, shape, or form, but you have to use your common sense and have your wits about you. And even if it means, because somebody asked me, then, oh, does that mean then that you teach your daughters to mistrust everyone? And I told her, yes.
yeah.
Here they are.
Because I would listen
Until you know the person better and know more about them, mistrust them.
Listen,
Look how I'm coming close in the thing. Tell you, mistrust them. Yes.
listen, I have like, you know, I have male and female friends. And one of my male friends said, oh yeah, do you want to come to mine? I've got another friend that's gonna be there though. And I said, oh no, I'm not coming there now. And he said, why? And I said, because I don't know that person. Yeah, so therefore, no thank you. Yeah, then another time, then he said, oh, the other friend is there, but also other people that I know are there. So I said, all right, then maybe I'll come and see how it was. And I had to scope out that person.
To gauge
But
it.
luckily, I actually knew who they were. I didn't know that I knew them. But still, I was not going there when it's just, me and that person. And then no.
Mm-mm.
Because you don't know.
Because you don't know. And, you know, I know this is not the only thing we're going to talk about, but it was where we started because of the fact that these keyboard ninjas were jumping on me and, you know, acted as if they want to fight me.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. One person was carrying on about I'm a coward and I don't know. And I'm like, excuse me.
But why are you?
I said, how in the world even are you even getting now to even start talking?
Because you weren't arguing with them.
You know? I said I don't
It was
argue.
you were entertaining.
You know, and I said to her, I said, I don't argue with women anyway. I said, but I'm far from a coward. I said, if you were a man, I said I might argue with you and I might even tell you, okay, if we meet face to face, then you'll know if I'm a coward or not. But because you're not a man, I don't even have to have that discussion. Ah, she jumped on that. See,
Of course,
you're a
because they don't-
hypocrite because look at what you're even saying that you would be doing. I said, no. I said, you think I'm a doormat because I'm a Christian? I'm not a doormat.
So
You
that's
can't,
what
you
they
can't walk
expect.
on me. And that's me taking personal responsibility for myself that I will not be disrespected or disregarded. Okay? So, you know, and we'll come back to that one again in a bit about, you know, as Christians, what we can and can't accept and where's our responsibility in that. But let me give you two stories about what happens on a negative basis when females, let's say, don't take enough personal responsibility. And this is not victim blaming at all, in any way, shape, or form. A friend of mine, a Nigerian, she told me something that happened to her. She had a boyfriend, and this was when she was in Nigeria. And this kind of rubbish happens a lot in Nigeria, by the way. And the guy was like, you know, very happy that she had become his girlfriend. Nice, pretty looking girl. Lots of other guys wanted her and all of this. So he was very proud, boasting and showing off to the rest of his buddies, you know, that he's got this woman as his girlfriend. So now he's been trying to have sex with her, and she's refusing. You see? Then I think one day she kind of like said, "Well, okay, maybe." So he's come to my house or my, you know, room, place, whatever it was that he had, so and so time anyway. So she's gone to his place, and because again, some people sometimes are very crazy. When she's gone to the guy's place, right? She's noticed that there were some other friends of his that were there.
What?
Right? they're you know, 'cause I think like maybe he had like, you know, there's his room and he's got like sitting room or whatever, and they're just there laughing and joking and doing their own thing. Right? So they've walked past them and they've gone to his room. Right? And she didn't work out anything. She didn't think too hard in her head, saying, "Oh no, you know, let's go leave or let's go somewhere else, or why is the house not empty?" Or she just didn't think about anything. So they've gone to his room, shut the door, decided to do whatever they're doing, and my man has left her in the room. I'll be back in a minute. Right? So he's told her, "I'll be back in a minute," and he's gone out now. And one of his friends has entered the room. So now she has screamed blue murder. She's screaming and hollering and carrying on absolutely crazy. So much so till now the so-called boyfriend felt guilty because of the way how she was so terrified. He came in now and stopped the guy before he managed to rape her, and threw him out and let her out the window. And imagine, this is what I'm saying, because you've got to understand something, right? And now, okay, for you non-Christians, too bad, you're not really going to get this, and I don't care. But for those of us who understand spirits, we know there was a spirit now that was behind all of this. Those guys were like savages. She couldn't pass that way. He had to let her out the window.
Yeah.
And it's his place.
Because he knows,
right? Because they were not interested in a no.
Yeah.
And because at the end of the day, they're saying she presented herself in that setting. Right? Now, are we victim blaming when we tell the person don't put yourself in that setting. No, we're not. Because my friend, and she was my friend and is my friend, she told me that story. There's nothing I could do. But what I said to her was, I wish to God you had known better than to present yourself in that setting. So now every woman who I speak to and who I know, who's my friend, would I not advise her beforehand, do not present yourself in such a setting? Of course I would,
You will not go there.
including my 2 daughters and my granddaughters. Or even 3 daughters. Julie is not even here, and she's smaller. But I would I tell her that, and Julie, thank God, Julie is rude. So even when people, even already, from when she was small, if a man said hello, why are you saying hello to me? And I thought it was great, fantastic.
Mind your business.
Yeah? What are you saying hello? And they like, ooh, this girl. Yeah, but it's true. What is he saying hello to her for?
You don't know her.
You see? And I hope to God that she keeps that same spirit. Yeah. So, story number 2, and this one is worse. Yeah, but I have to tell it. I have to tell it. It's worse. It's worse. May Jesus help us to have personal responsibility and understanding.
Yeah.
Then we're going to move on from this because it's, that's enough. Hey, when I worked as a prison officer, there was a guy in the prison who was serving a life sentence for murder. So there was a friend of mine who used to visit the prison, and she used to come into the chapel, and the guys would come up as well, and of course they only came up more so, some of them, because they knew some ladies were there, so they would come to the chapel on the Sunday. Anyway, it's just human nature. So no, not even that, but just because the ladies are there, because it's a male prison, isn't it?
Yeah.
And these are visitors coming in. Yeah. So then obviously I used to go there sometimes when I was on duty, as an escort. So I knew, mostly the prisoners who went there, and of course I knew all the visitors.
Yeah.
So this particular lady, because she's my friend also, I'd seen that she'd struck up a friendship with this particular prisoner. And he asked if she could write to him, which is allowed. What usually happens, he'll write a letter, he'll give it to the chaplain. The chaplain will pass the letter to her. She'll reply and give it to the chaplain. The chaplain will pass the reply to him. And it stays like that. There's no address information or anything. And then you don't exchange pictures or anything like that. So I said to her, be careful of this guy who you've become friends with. And she said, oh, I know he's serving a life sentence for murder. I said, yes. I said, but he's devious. I said, and that's all. I said, that's all I can tell you, but he's devious. So she's like, oh, he seems really nice. He's really calm. I said, yes, he's calm because he's devious. Right? Now, this is what I'm saying about personal responsibility. Right? Don't always have very hard ears. Listen to some things. So yes, she was right. She's visiting him. She's being nice to him because he's trying to serve his sentence and get back in the community and be a productive human being and all of that. Very nice. But I'm telling her, from an officer's point of view, somebody who locks him up and opens him up from his cell every day, he is devious. Yeah. I didn't give her any more information than that. I just left it at that. Anyway, she's not listening. So she's telling me he's nice, blah, 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 this and that. She was then allowed to visit him in the visit room. Now, when they visit a prisoner, they are allowed to bring pictures in. The prisoner can look at the pictures and you take the pictures away. Right? That's how it goes. You can't give him any picture, but he can look at them, you take them back and you go with them. So he asked her if she'll, so he'll ask her, can you bring pictures? She brought the pictures in. I warned her. I said, this guy is devious. Be careful of which pictures you bring and what they show, in the pictures because he is an extremely sharp guy. So lo and behold, no personal response. She's not listening anyway. So she's brought these pictures in, and one of the pictures had her the street, what do you call those things? The road sign, you know, but it was like back to front, you know, because obviously like mirror image when the picture was taken. But my mind has worked it out,
Of course.
right? And then he must have gone in his own time and gone on whether, I don't know, electoral roll or I don't know where. But he found her, found her address. And then she came to me one day and she said, do you know what? I'm going to tell you something. And I don't know how to deal with it. I said, what? She showed me a letter. She said, this letter didn't come from the chaplain. It arrived directly through the post to my door. And it's from that prisoner. I said, aha, so now he knows where you live. So now in that letter, because now this letter wasn't going through the chaplain, the content of that letter was quite different than the ones that go through the chaplain.
Of course.
You know, now in that letter, he was telling her what he really thought about her, what he thought about her in certain outfits that she'd worn when she visited him, and all these different things. And now she, I don't know what to do. Blah blah blah. I said, you know, I said, you're my friend, right? I said, but remember, I'm also a prison officer, and now you've put it on me, right? And this, remember, we're talking about personal responsibility. So now this was my personal responsibility. She's my good friend, but now she's put it on me, right? So I said, I'm going to have to do something about this. I said, because I know what he's capable of. What do you mean? What do you mean? I said, I'm not telling you anything yet. I said, I will find out if I can give any information to you or not, right? I said, but at this stage, I said, you've told me now. I said, and now my personal responsibility is that I have to do something about this. So we used to put what we call an SIR, security information report. And we could put them in anonymously as well as we could, you know, sign our name to it. Me, because I'm John Chambers, and everybody who knows me, they know I'm like this. I don't do anonymous, right? I put my name straight. So I put in the report and I explained there's a situation here that needs dealing with sharply. So he was investigated and they found out that he had, you know, written to her directly to her home and that he was now, you know, obsessed with her, etc., etc. And he was immediately moved to segregation. She was banned from visiting, and then he was shipped out of the prison to another place that was not disclosed to her. So now when that happened, I then went to her and I told her, I said, now listen to me. I said, now that you're banned from visiting, right? I said, now I will share with you about this guy. So I said to her, that person who you were confidently showing information to that I told you not to show to him because he's, you know, he's a convicted murderer and he's dangerous. I said, let me tell you a little bit about him. So she said, okay. I said, his case is heavyweight. I said, when people hear it, these are the things that would make movies, right? I said, this guy, I think he had reached his late 30s or, yeah, late 30s, I think, by then. He had never touched a woman in his life, right? He was like a computer geek working in this particular place. And there was a woman there who he had a fixation for. So he kept on. She said, no, I'm not interested. I'm not, you know, no. Can't I even take you for coffee? He was just obsessed with the woman. And people had been saying this guy's creepy, he's creepy, you know, and this is why even he doesn't have even a girlfriend or anything. So the woman said, okay, you can we'll go to, you know, somewhere for a coffee, like a, you know, a bar or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So they've gone for the coffee, right? And then he said to her, oh, are you gonna leave me just like that? You know, I was enjoying the chat and all of this. You know, do you want to come back to my place for another coffee? What? The stupid woman, knowing that the guy is already creepy, first of all, she's not. She said she's not interested, right? But she's gone for the coffee with him or whatever it was. Then now she said yes. She's gone back to his house. So now he's made the coffee. They've had little small talk. She said, "Oh, you know, okay, it's time for me to go." So now my man starts to try, you know, one or two things. She's saying, "Remember, I told you I'm not interested. I don't like you that way. What I told you was that we could be friends, right, on a friendly basis." And you know, basically, she's saying to him, "That's all I was interested in. You know, for us to be friends
Yeah.
on a you know on a friendly basis."
Yeah, nothing more.
Yeah. And he said, "Okay, fine." He had a 6 foot spear on his wall. So he took down the spear and he impaled the woman stabbed the spear through the woman and stuck her to the floor. So of course she died and she was pinned to the floor. Then he removed her clothes and had sex with her dead body. Okay? This is the same man who I was telling this woman, be careful of. Now, these are the things that we don't know, and we don't know everything about people.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the line, you've got to be if you don't know, then err on the side of suspicion instead of, oh well, it's okay. Just he seems like a nice guy. Yeah, that one seemed like a nice guy, but he's evil. He's a serious murderer, and I didn't see him any different. You see, but she's like, oh well, because he seemed very nice. Well, obviously he wasn't nice, was he? Yeah.
Look at Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
There you go.
How could he have done it? He's so good looking. Women were even infatuated by him.
Is
They
she
were
here?
infatuated.
I thought I heard somebody knock the door, but I wasn't quite sure.
Yeah, women were even infatuated by him, by the idea of him, but snoring. Yeah, women were infatuated by him, but there's no way he could have done it. There's no way he could have done that to those women. And when they're asking the women why, because he's just so good looking and nice. Maybe our phone's not. Yeah, he said, oh, because he's so good. He's so good looking and he seems so nice. Really? Listen, that man even escaped prison. Yeah, because he was there. And that's how you know, stop assuming that a person is not evil or doesn't have some sort of devious mindset or behavior. Because what was happening with Ted Bundy, jumping off his bunk bed every day, boom, 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 all day long, all day. The guards, oh, what's he doing that for? I don't know. He's just a weirdo. No, he was strengthening his legs. So then what did he do on his court day? Ran and jumped out the window and boom, and ran and did his own thing. And what else did he do? Grow a big long beard and long hair. And then on the day, so then as soon as he left, got his hair cut, shaved off his beard. Nobody knew who he was. He was just walking the road like a normal person. And why is that? Because they underestimated him.
And because they weren't taking personal responsibility for doing their job properly. Because any prisoner, whilst they're in prison, they have to make an application to change their appearance. So obviously those officers were not following those guidelines. You can't even grow a beard if you didn't have one before. Right? You cannot change your appearance without an application. And then there will be several pictures taken, right, so that they can know. You see, but you want to change your appearance just like that, it's not allowed. You can have a haircut, but just a standard haircut. Even.
No, he then refused all haircuts.
You got short hair, you can't suddenly grow it long without an application. Or if it's long, you can't suddenly cut it short.
And of course, in Ted Bundy's case, there was no application. put forward, and that's why when he went out on road, oh, the picture they had was of him with his long hair and long beard, but not of him with the short hair and the short foolishness.
And you know, and again, I'm telling you what I know because I worked in reception where they would have to come and we would update them because we had the cameras there, and we would take a fresh picture and put it on file.
Yeah.
And that was standard.
Yeah. Why was there no pictures of when he first came in, when he was, you know, going for his court date? Why was there not pictures in between to show that he had grown his hair and done all these things? But they weren't checking on him because even he had things in the ceiling and everything. They weren't checking on him. They weren't taking personal responsibility, as we said, to do their job properly, and make sure that he's not trying to escape or having some little plan and all these things. If he can bewitch people who don't even know him through the TV screen, wake up. Do you know what I mean? And people still till now think, oh, he's innocent. There's still people, who are like, oh, well, there wasn't really full evidence, and you know that girl, the FBI were involved with that girl who testified and all these things. Yeah, so, and people actually don't believe. Talking about the girl that testified against him was told to say that by the FBI and all this.
But when that's actually the case, no one's not listening.
But that's what I'm saying. Suddenly, when it's Ted Bundy now, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I just thought, whatever. And this is the thing, people don't want to take, you know, personal responsibility for the things that happen. Even, you know, even in just normal life, people don't want to take personal responsibility for anything that happens.
No, it's always somebody else's fault, isn't it?
Yes, and this is how it goes
and
now.
what about you?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously there's so many things that we could talk about.
Yeah.
We've picked just like a few, but I want to talk about the masks. So here's.
I was thinking about that, funny enough, in my head.
And what was it you were going to say? You said you had something to say that you'd seen on TV.
Oh no, that was that man.
Oh right.
That wasn't
What,
what
the
the
Walmart thing?
No, but I did see a video. Yeah, I saw a video of a man, and he was going into Walmart, and he's gone to go walk in, and some security guard man has come and blocking him like this, pushed him over onto the floor. Yeah, pushed him over onto the floor. So
I didn't hear not one question about the mask, why he wasn't wearing it, if he was exempt.
No,
none of that.
He didn't ask him nothing. Pushed him over onto the floor. So the man has got up and obviously been like, "What the hell is going on?" And just tried to carry on going in the shop. So obviously he's thinking, "Why are you pushing me down?" So he's tried to carry on going into the shop now, and the man once again is blocking him, following him, not letting. Yeah, every place he's going, he's running and coming in front like this and all this. Yeah, it's like you know, spotting him everywhere he's going. Yeah, and then there's people in the shop saying, "Oh, you need to wear a mask. Just wear the mask, and this won't be a problem for you. You need to just wear it." And they had people, you know, that were watching the video reacting to it. Like, you know, say that they were like watching their phone and recording themselves reacting to it. Yeah. And the people were like, this is the reason why we're all on lockdown, because of people like this man who won't wear a mask and blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm talking about?
Absolutely ridiculous.
Of course it's ridiculous.
It's a load of rubbish.
Yeah, that is a load of rubbish.
But you see, here's the thing. So good, because that exactly follows into where, you know, to where I'm coming to now.
Yeah.
And, you know, we might not be super long on this, and I don't business whoever watches or doesn't watch, because we say what we say and we're done.
Yeah.
You know, we're not really on here to entertain people.
No.
So even if people don't find our topic juicy, that really doesn't matter to me. You know?
Yeah.
So the thing about the mask now, there was a story of a man in the States who crashed because he'd worn his mask for too long. First of all, he's an idiot because he was in his car on his own and he's wearing the mask. Right?
I'm tired of seeing that.
And then he had what's that?
Yeah, she's put a comment.
I don't know. What
He, Tamer, I should call you evangelist. The boldness involved. I can't remember. What did I say?
Well, she's just
Maybe
listening.
she just listening.
She's just
Yeah.
listening, isn't she? So you know, cool. But you know, this guy, he crashed his car, right? And then when the police came and they, asked him what's going on, he said that was because of the mask. And he was wearing an N95 mask. An N95 mask is not the same as a surgical mask.
No.
Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail. You can go and look these up for yourself. So I'll repeat it again for those who want to argue about masks and what have you. N for November 95. That was the mask this man was wearing. Now, as it so happens, the most correct mask that we could wear, if we were going to bother to wear one, is the N95. Because the N95 mask not only protects you from large droplets, but also from microbial ones as well. The N95 mask has to be fitted. Yeah, because it fits close to your face. And it's a more efficient mask, and it filters out 95% of the atmosphere. So if you think about this logically and realistically, if it filters out 95% of what's coming from outside, of course it's going to give you some breathing problems after some time. It's obvious, right? Because you're not getting enough oxygen, and it's very restricted because it's stopping anything from outside coming to you. So this is the mask he had on. He said he passed out and crashed his car. So then they were saying, well, for COVID, you don't have to wear such masks. You can wear a surgical mask. So now doctors have explained, and you can go and Google and have a look. Surgical masks don't stop microbial droplets. They stop large droplets and splashes, which is why surgeons wear them. They don't wear them for any other reason. If a surgeon had the flu, he will not do the surgery.
Exactly.
Right? Because that surgical mask cannot stop him from passing the flu on to that person. He will not do the surgery, right? Because it doesn't do anything. Okay, that's
the long and short of it.
Right? So his personal responsibility was to say, I have the flu, I won't do that surgery at this time, right? Now, in terms of the differences of the masks, there are some people, and again there are articles which do say this, who are advised not to wear a mask, or in fact what they say, they advise them to think very carefully about whether they would wear a mask or not. From the beginning of the pandemic and until now, I've not worn one, and I will not wear one, and I won't be wearing one, and I will not wear one. Right? However many ways that you need to hear it, I will not be wearing one. So, and my reasoning is very simple. I've looked at other people who have a condition that I have, and many of them, because they're trying to be compliant. And again, we're back to this thing, this personal responsibility. Is my responsibility, and it's a question, as well as I also have my answer. It's a rhetorical question, but I have an answer. And my question simply is this, that I have to ask the question to people, right? Is it my responsibility to just listen to the government and comply, or is it my responsibility, yes, to think about that, but also think about my own personal health and safety? Yeah. Now, the problem that we have is that when we're walking on the street, or we're going to a shop, or whatever the case may be, you've got people there who don't have any idea if there's anything wrong with me or not.
Yeah.
So they make assumptions. But remember, we're talking about personal responsibility. And even the guidelines tell you it is your personal responsibility to wear a mask.
Yeah.
So you're not me. You don't know why I'm not wearing a mask, and it's none of your business.
Yeah.
Your personal responsibility is to look after yourself. So now, oh yes, but you see, if you wear a mask, if you had COVID, and the mask will contain it, it will stop you from dropping droplets on anybody else, right?
You had COVID, what if you've been out and be out?
I don't have COVID.
Exactly.
End of discussion.
How many times do I need to
Right.
say it?
And that's it. I don't have it.
Same like the flu.
You know.
You had the flu. You would be out your
Yeah.
yards.
What more discussion needs to be had? What person who really has the flu, but not a cold, the flu is outside, going to the supermarket.
No, you're not.
Oh, Dr. Lord, doing your shopping. No, you are not.
No, you're not. You're not. You're not going to feel well enough
No,
to be up and down, walking around
it
doing
just wouldn't
doing
happen.
these things. So now, here's the thing. Let's go a little deeper with it. So, personal responsibility means that you should also understand what you're wearing. So they've said, oh, well, just wear any face
No
covering,
one does.
right?
Yeah, that's
Here's
the
the
thing,
thing.
isn't it?
If I know, yeah, this is me now because I can only speak for myself. If I know that there are other people out there who could pass COVID on to me, and they're sick, or they may be sick, or potentially sick, and I'm being told just wear any face covering, it's my personal responsibility to go and examine what that means.
Yeah.
If I wear just any face covering, does it protect me or not? And the answer is no. Right? And that can be argued on a legal basis. Okay, the answer is no. They tell you just wear any face covering because then you're compliant. But if we're going to go into the legalities of it and say, well, what it's supposed to protect me from, you know, in terms of microbial droplets, etc., will any face covering protect me? The answer is no.
Yeah, no.
Right? But if you don't go and look for the information and analyze it and understand properly, you won't know that. Now, second to that, for somebody like myself who has breathing problems on a continuous basis because of heart failure, and there are other things like COPD and chronic asthma and so on and so forth, right? Now, there's a thing that you either know or you don't know, called oxygen saturation, right? Oxygen saturation basically is to how much oxygen is in your bloodstream. And if you don't have oxygen in your bloodstream, you will die anyway. It's just like that. Your organs need the oxygen, they'll shut down. They need oxygenated blood.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
In order to function efficiently and effectively. So now, for a person who already has breathing problems and who already has maybe a deficiency of oxygen flowing around the body through the blood system,
Yeah,
because of the heart, etc. When you put on a mask, right, and you can't breathe enough oxygen because you are now restricting the amount of oxygen that's coming in, and you're now breathing out carbon dioxide, which is coming straight, some of it's coming straight back at you. Now, many of those people have gone and tested their what we call the SATs, the oxygen saturation levels, and they have found that they have gone down too low when they have on a mask.
Yeah.
Right? Now, we know what people turn around and say, well, if that's the case, stay at home. Don't go out at all. Well, that's none of your business either, because those people know why they've gone out, right? Because even somebody like myself, I don't go on the road willy-nilly. Even at the best of times, I don't. Yeah, I've always been a protective person of my physical health, even before COVID, because I know where I'm at. Even the things like wash your hands, well, of course. But do you know the amount of people traditionally over the years who have gone to the toilets? You see them all the time, public toilets, toilets in restaurants, toilets in pub, man and woman, not just even man. Right? They go to the toilet, they do whatever they're doing whichever it be, A or B. Yeah, let's call it that. And they come out and they step straight out of the
Straight
toilet.
out.
You see?
Not even a bit of water.
And they don't even let
That's
the
why I always keep a bit of tissue.
you know
so I can
open the door. They don't even let the water go on their hand. Nothing, and they've gone.
Sorry.
All right, Roy. You know the amount of people that don't follow basic hygiene.
Yeah.
Now, why am I bringing this into personal? Why am I bringing this into personal responsibility? Because it is their personal responsibility
Of course.
to wash their nasty hands,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? But on the other hand, it's my personal responsibility to know and think to myself, there's a whole heap of man out there that people are nasty. They don't wash their hands and they don't do what they should. So I need to take care of myself,
Exactly.
right? And we should have been doing this from day one.
Well, this is the thing, when the whole Corona thing first started, and remember everybody was panic buying and all that. I went to the supermarket with my friend. That was when Mum was on holiday, and so I went to the supermarket with my friend. And when we got there, obviously, this was a time when you didn't wear no mask. Then
Mm.
no one cared. No people cared, but they weren't wearing no mask. Yeah, and then we've gone in and we've got a trolley, and I've said, "Oh look," and they had some sanitizing spray and some blue roll. So I said, "Oh, let's wipe down the trolley,"
But why was that not always a thing?
This is
Mm.
exactly what our
It should
conversation
have always been.
It should have always been there, and that's what we have kept saying. They were like, "Oh, we're now washing the buses this much times," and I thought,
So
"Well,
we
why?"
should have been doing
What
that
were you
anyway.
doing before?
Oh, stop, Roy.
I was just Roy. Hey, it's like we were. I was just about to say the same thing. I've seen people, never mind even just yamming it. I've seen people digging out their nose and then they go straight and they're pushing the trolley. And you're supposed to push the same trolley where them just take them finger and dig out them
Yeah,
nasty
and that was
holes.
before COVID.
Right?
Yeah.
People was already doing nasty
Even
things.
worse than that, I'm sorry to say, excuse me, some people. I've seen people digging out their batteries,
Oh, damn.
right? Huh? Mm. I've seen people scratching out their battery,
Damn.
right, and then carrying on pushing the trolley, right? I saw one woman one time. I mean, God is my witness. Right? She was scratching her front, and it looked like she was looking for gold inside there, right? And then she just carried on about her business. Now, when there's no sanitizer, no nothing, right?
Yeah.
Because I had always been aware of that. Whenever I go, this is from childhood. From childhood, whenever we've gone shopping, outside anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know about other sort of nationalities, but I know Jamaicans and Caribbeans, outside is outside.
Mm-hmm.
And particularly with the children, when they've played outside and they come in, they must change their clothes, right? They must go and go to the bath. They must have a wash their foot, wash their hands, minimum.
Exactly.
And
Minimum.
my mum, in my day, we had outside clothes,
Mhm.
right? And they literally, that's what they meant, outside. Now, God help you if you ever stepped in dog shit by accident. You were in trouble. Your trainers could have been the nicest trainers in the world. They couldn't come. Listen, I had a pair of trainers, right? I stepped in dog poop, you know what I mean? And I washed the trainers with what do you call it? Dettol,
Dettol.
bleach,
Oh, yeah.
everything. My mum said no. She said no. They will never come in her house again.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. She said never. They had to stay outside.
And the funny thing is that carries over because my mum, Graham, stepped in some poo or something, and those shoes were never allowed inside ever again. And they were cleaned off and everything. And she said, "Nah, what a dummy!" I know. That's what I just read. That is nastiness.
But
They're dropping their stuff. What table was it? Because I know it weren't yours. The work table. That sandwich is gone.
right. Exactly, at the outside closed. You know. But to answer, to say about what Freddie said, that one is not even as bad. I can't. I can hardly even.
What?
Oh Lord! I'm scared. But okay, I know maybe people are not. We're not. Maybe some people weren't thinking this was the discussion, but it is because we're talking about right now in the era that we're in. This whole thing about infection and getting sick from people and getting germs and all of that. It is a big topical thing.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to say is that it isn't a new topic. But some people it's been introduced to them as a new topic because they've just never taken personal responsibility.
Yeah.
And their idea, let me even say, their idea of personal responsibility is not the same as ours.
Yeah.
Because like now what Freddie's saying there, my wife had a colleague. They work looking after people with learning disabilities, which sometimes requires personal care, They need to change pads and so forth.
Yeah.
This man, and they're supposed to wear gloves. He decided that he's not wearing gloves, so he's gone and changed the guy, right? You know what I mean? From changed his pad from a poo and what have you, and he's just come out. Then he's gone straight to the fridge. Right, took right. He took the keys out. He took the keys out of the fridge. Took the bread from the bread basket, and he's making himself a cheese.
Well, that's
sandwich.
his bread and his cheese forever now.
Right? And this is why, and you see all these type of things, and even like what Freddie said there about taking the cup, and they're blowing the cup, and then they just pour their tea. When I worked in the prison. Our principal officer was the wing manager at the time. He had this so-called white cup. The outside of the cup was white. The inside was black like my shirt. Right? So one day, and I never used to really play that game with them, who's making tea and coffee.
I know.
I just tell them no, I'm not in that tea and coffee game.
No,
right?
Yeah,
exactly. I'm telling you. I said to them, I'm not in that tea and coffee game. I don't do it. So anyway, one day I said, okay, I'll make tea and what have you for them. And they knew I was clean anyway. So not like how they are. When I say they, I'm not putting any.
Them ones you was working with there.
But the ones who are like that, they know who they are. All right, let's say it like that. So he said, yes, please, a cup of tea. So me being me wash out one cup.
I had a client that got vexed about me washing out their teacup.
So I washed out his cup because
you've washed out the flame.
That's exactly what he said to me. He said to me, no, you shouldn't have washed it. All you needed to do was shake it out. As he put it, right? Because he said it's only him one that's drinking it. It's his cup. I was horrified.
Yeah, I am horrified.
So anyway, I had my own cup.
Too many drop bags.
And I went away on holiday, and by mistake, I left my cup out. I didn't put it in my locker. And my cup was pristine. And always, even if I put it down for 5 seconds, I warned them, don't touch my cup. I said, don't even put your hand on it. Because nobody can drink from it, so don't put your hand on it.
Yeah.
So lo and behold, it's like they must have done it out of spite. They must have drunk every tea and coffee out of my cup.
Yeah.
So when I came back, the inside was brown, like dirt. So I just asked one time, I said, who used my cup? Nobody's answering me. I took the cup and I flung it against the wall and mashed it up and just left it there. I said, well, try use it now.
Yeah.
Never again did I make that mistake to leave my cup. Now, like I said, some people are like, oh, why this personal responsibility? Yes, it is, actually, because even with the whole thing about, you're now being instructed like a baby on the TV, how to wash your hands when to wash your hands and all this.
No.
Go on.
These two,
Can't wait.
listen to this. These two, my daughters, they will tell you. I mean, mostly I've had cars anyway, you know, so they've always been in the car most of the
Any
time.
bus
But
ride.
any time they've gone on the bus from they were small, they need to be standing directly next to me, touching absolutely
Nothing.
nothing.
Touch nothing.
Right?
Don't
Touching
touch no
nothing.
You need to hold
And that's
on.
never
hold
changed.
on to
That
that.
is
If
passed
they
down
need
to
to hold
Yeah.
on, hold me.
Yeah.
Right? And I will hold this to something up above, or if I'm touching the right, I'll put on my glove.
Mhm.
Right? And if I see them touch anything, I slap them. Right? And when we get out, if I didn't have wipes, we're going somewhere to wash their hands.
Yeah.
They're there. See if I'm lying.
Listen,
Right?
me and Angelica were speaking about the hand washing thing.
Yeah.
But I've
And
seen
she
people.
even reminded me that when I was young, I used to be washing my
Over
hands.
washing the hands. Till it's
I
like, oh,
didn't
where's
even
Tamar? She
remember.
better not be in that
I'm
bathroom.
washing their hands again.
And you know, even now I wash my hands a lot. Like I could do something like just go and maybe close the gate, you
Mm.
know, from the house. Like, oh, let me go lock the gate and close the front door. And then I'll come inside and I'll be like, let me just wash my
You
hands.
can't be worse
Yeah.
than me, Tamar. Tamar, you can't.
Yes, exactly. Any little thing. I'm like, let me
No,
just wash
sir.
my hands. Yes, yeah, exactly.
What's that? Don't
touch
touch.
it.
Don't touch.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it when I seen that thing. That little girl, I don't know where they were queuing, but there was this railing.
It's
and
right
the child is
about
like
the
licking
same.
along.
Licking all the. I seen it. I seen it.
Saw that, and the man was just
They were
with their
oblivious.
backs like turned or something.
Listen. Let me tell you a story that's gonna make you faint. That's gonna make you faint. One time I was on a bus in London, right? It's gonna make you pass out.
You put the six
I haven't even told the story yet. This Indian man is on there. That's we're on the top deck of the bus, and my man must have forgot that there's enough black people up there on that bus. The Indian guy. Right, straight on the floor. Straight on the floor. I think it's only God that saved him. Every black man on that bus got up to beat that Indian man.
That is absolutely
Right? Pure
nasty.
filth and nastiness. Now, why am I putting all of this under personal responsibility? Because it is. Because it is, and it has always been. But we're having to be instructed by the government, or governments, you know.
And that's where they're
And
lacking.
and this now, I mean, never mind even the other things about the COVID. This has become, I don't know. I would say that this is like a shame for us.
Yeah.
You know, that you're having to instruct people.
But I was
You
just
know.
saying that the other day. I never thought I would be seeing an advert for hand washing that was not on a children's channel.
Yeah. But you know what my friend said the other day? He said, oh yeah, he said, remember when hand wash was running, like selling out? He said,
Mm.
what were the people doing before
Right
that?
then.
But that's it. What were they doing before that?
Yeah, what were
But
they
you know,
doing?
when I used to work as a doorman, right? When I used to work as a doorman, I used to have sanitizer in my pocket, right? First, I used to wear my gloves, even inside. They're like, Gov, you're inside. Why you got your gloves on? Because I have, right? I'll be, because like I was even taking off my coat and I'm walking around maybe with a shirt or a jacket, and I've still got my leather gloves on. Gov, why you got your gloves on? I said, because I have. But I know why, because I'm not touching people. I remember part of the job you have to touch people sometimes to get them out,
Bring them out,
or to
yeah.
move them from one place to another, or they come trying to shake your hand, all them kind of things. You know the amount of man I see. Anyway, you already. I just no, and you know, but never even mind that. I'm sorry, but I can't even really explain it. You have to. Adults, please use your brain a little bit and go a bit further, right? Because you know, when I'm talking nightclubs and so forth, you know, there's some other kind of nastiness that can go on in there, and then they're coming to shake your hand. You see? Yeah, what do you say?
He said, I was on the bus in London one time and saw some young children, infant age, about 4 and 5, with their parents. And the children were licking the windows and the bus railings. And the worst part, their parents didn't even stop them.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yes, this is what I'm saying.
That is nasty.
That's absolutely
Yeah.
disgusting.
Why are they doing that?
God help us.
I've
Ooh.
seen it.
Licking the window.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Listen, I couldn't even touch that window
Listen,
when
I
was
even
young.
put a status on my Facebook about how when I see people rubbing down the hot breath on the bus windows.
Oh, I used to get a
It's
newspaper.
disgusting.
If I wanted to see, I'd get the newspaper, do this on it.
Oh, yeah.
Doing it on somewhere.
I always used
Put
to.
it in the bin.
I always used to walk with tissue,
Yeah.
right? Particularly, especially when these guys were little. I used to have my pockets full of tissue because there had to be tissue used for every purpose. You know, you can't touch this, you can't touch that. We had tissue galore.
Yeah. Well, and wipes
Yeah.
in the car.
And wipes, and then still
Glove
till
box.
today, I have wipes in my boot.
Yeah.
You know,
Quick stop. Help it.
of course. Until today, I still have wipes in my boot. Now, again, some people will be thinking, personal responsibility. Yes, it is, because they're telling us right now, you know, wear a mask, because the mask is the you know, the cure to it. Isn't. No, nasty people. They see now. For instance, let me give you 2 examples of you know, where people coughing in your face and sneezing in your face, or sneezing, you know, like sitting around the table and they just sneeze. Your food, you know, and food is there and all these type of things. See, all those type of things I see people doing that. No, and this is, I'm not talking now, I'm talking from before. So me, wherever I've worked, you know, and people are people could be, oh, would you like a cup of tea, John? No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, I don't. I'll make it myself, or don't bother, right? Because I don't see them wash the cup. I don't see them wash their hands. You know, I worked in healthcare, yeah, and I worked in prison, those type of closed environments. And I've seen a nurse had lost a document, so she's gone straight to the bin. And remember, we've got gloves galore, right? I used to have boxes of. I used to carry a box of gloves in my car so that I had gloves to wear all the time, right? And then I would take out and put. So I had gloves in my pocket. If I've gone out with a patient, I've got gloves in my pocket in case I need them. Do you understand? You know, in my little pouch and things like that.
Yeah.
She's gone straight to the bin, rifling through the bin till she found the document, right? And because now she's come straight to the keyboard.
See, listen, and you know when in the library, yeah, I used to get the sanitizer and spread it on the keyboard, and people are looking at me. That's why.
I used to
That is why.
you know them when I worked at O2, you know them sanitizing wipes. I used to
Yeah.
have them, and I'd come
The mouse,
because you
keyboard.
couldn't sit at the same place every time,
Mhm.
and all this rubbish. You know, really,
That was
you
about-
should have been able to.
Of course, you
could
should have
only
been
sit in
able
your
to.
teams anyway. But I used to come and someone sat in my place.
So then you've got to re-wipe
Yeah,
everything.
so then I'd have to get my wipes out and wipe down the keyboard,
and the
wipe
phone.
down the desk, the phone, the head, yeah, because
Yeah.
that's the only thing. That was the only hygiene that they had. Oh, we can't share a headset, but I could still share and touch everywhere else. That's nasty and disgusting. Yeah. Oh no! Stop.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yes. Read it out. Read it out.
English families, not all.
and some other, not even just English.
But some families, it's
Not
true.
just some families, my friend.
Because I've seen people who are not English doing them things there.
Can we see enough other people do that?
Yeah. Enough families, let's say, will drink milk from the carton and put it back in the fridge and dip their spoon in the sugar and go back for more
With the same spoon. Yes, it's true.
Nasty.
Yeah. Then you've got those ones who will share with their dog.
Yeah. Ah!
I went one day to the park. I have to even hold my head. Help me, God. I've never seen this before in my life. I had never seen something. The woman had an ice cream because, in fact, I had to stand still, right? I don't know where my phone was at the time, but I had to stand still to actually observe what was going on because I couldn't believe what I saw. The woman had an ice cream, right?
No.
She's taking one lick, and the dog is taking one lick. She's taking one lick, and the dog is taking one lick.
Why do people do
The only thing she's doing, she just stopped the dog from eating the flake, the chocolate flake. But she's licking the ice cream, bloom. The dog is licking it. I nearly fainted on the spot. Right? Now, when you look and you see all the kind of nasty germs that are around and they're trying to tell you about being protective and all these type of things, we got to talk about these things. Because when they now are wondering why, why are you being so extra? No, we're not. Because even now, what they're telling people to do, they're still not coming up to the standard of how I am and how I want.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So this is what I'm saying. And yet in the day when I was doing all of those things, oh, you're weird. You're OCD.
Yeah.
Because I would go around cleaning all the phones, on the ward. The phones that the nursing staff need to use and so forth, all the keyboards and everything. I would be spending like 10 minutes wiping it down before I use it. You're weird. No.
Why?
Because now what's happening? I'd walk with my spray. So like when the patients would be coughing and I'd watch them. And then they open the door. So I'd be with my spray all the time. Oh, you're weird. No. And that was from long before COVID and whatever. Because this is what we've had to live through.
Yeah.
You see? And now, then you have to ask the question, then they start talking about who's got the more germs and who hasn't and this and that. I'm tired of it. I don't want to hear.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear because some nasty habits and practices that people have had, they should just stop it. COVID is not the reasoning behind that. Just stop your nastiness.
Exactly.
Simple as stop your nastiness.
Think about others more as well.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, they want to tell people, oh, you're just, all these people that don't wear a mask are just selfish and they're not thinking about everyone else. So what about them nasty people? They're not wearing the mask either, though. Exactly. And what about them nasty people who are out there touching?
But that's what I'm saying. But they don't know.
Oh, they're touching the food. Just because you can't see it. That's all it is.
They don't know why we're not wearing the mask.
Yeah, no, they don't.
All they know is that according, you should be wearing it, right? You may have a reason why you're not wearing it, but
And I don't have to wear no mask. At the end of
So
the day.
the last thing I want us to touch on, just to move the subject forward, we've said enough about the nastiness. Let's allow it. Is the taking responsibility for what you believe in versus what the government said, and we've kind of part of that is about the mask. That's one side of it. But now I want to just bring up one subject only, and then we'll just talk about it and see where we get. Then we're done. And if people want to comment by all means. And I'm gonna phrase it more or less the way that it was. I wish I could find the clip, but I couldn't re-find it at the moment. But I was listening to a clip from Jamaica. So you already know if I said it's from Jamaica, it is not. It doesn't fit political correctness. Okay, so remember that from right up top. Yeah, it was from Jamaica. It does not fit political correctness. because Jamaica don't bother with that. So the title of the thing was "My Batman Son Must Leave My House."
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Right? That was the title. Sorry, but that is what the title was. "My Batman Son Must Leave My House." Right?
They know what they mean.
So I listened to the thing. So the woman said now that she had told her son he must come out of her house. So she was saying, okay, do people think that I've gone too far in telling, because he's not a child, yeah, he's an adult, right? But because, obviously, in Jamaica and other places, extended family and so forth, people do live together still.
Yeah.
But she said, no, I've had enough of his behavior and he needs to go. So then she had spoken with him and she had recorded the conversation, like an interview kind of. So she said that the reason why she did this, and hopefully when I finish, you'll get why I'm putting this under personal responsibility, because I'm saying, in my view, there's two levels of personal responsibility in this whole story. There is the mother's personal responsibility, and the young man also had personal responsibility, which I believe he reneged on. But I'll come to it, and you'll see what I'm saying. So the mother said she told him before, don't bring anybody to her house. She said that she caught him with two men.
Yeah, you have to come out. You have to come out.
Right? And you know how Jamaicans will milk that. Not even one man,
Two.
1, 2.
Two man.
That's how they said it.
One.
Not even one man, 1, 2.
Two man. That's why when you said two, I was like,
Right?
you have to leave.
So she said she caught him with two men. So now she obviously she's now having a conversation, and so she's saying to him, when we spoke before, what did I tell you? And he's like, oh, yeah. You said, you don't agree with my lifestyle and all that. She said, no, I don't. She said, even from when you were young, I used to, and I don't want to use the word. I used to bust your beginning with R for the same thing when you're putting on my clothes and putting on lipstick and makeup. She said, I already know what you were styling from young. Yeah. So she said, well, anyway, that's your business, but not in my house. And that's what I told you, not in my house. So he's like, yeah, I understand. But he obviously didn't understand because this, in my opinion, first of all, his mother has a right to not agree with what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because there were people there saying that she's stupid because why is she kicking out her own child? Blah, blah, blah. Why can't she support her? Why can't she support him and all of this? But it's that they're missing the point that he is not a child. He's responsible for his own actions. You cannot just disregard somebody else's feelings, particularly and especially in the case of it's not your house, right? So you're now telling her, I don't care how you feel about this, I'll do what I want. So he's disregarded what she thought and just gone ahead and brought in not even one man, two men, right? She said, no, that can't go on inside here. So now, unfortunately, because Mama was so angry about the whole thing, she's telling him, you deserve execution, right? Yeah. Now, I don't believe that she really,
meant that she
would execute him, but she said it. What did Roy say?
For me, the issue is not so much his preferences, it's the fact that he knows the rules and he isn't above.
Yeah. So that's the reason, really, because she said, so the mama now, she said to me, if you stay in this house any longer, she said, if I were you, I wouldn't eat no food inside here, right? And she said, I'm not joking. She said, because you, and let me say it how she said it, sitting like how you forget piety. Now, so people are railing and kicking up out. She can't talk like that. Why is she talking to her son like that? And so on. I think Mama was just angry and vexed, and my man had just gone too far with the whole thing. I really do think that, you know, it was like that. I don't believe that she really actually would like to poison her son. However, I believe that he is beyond out of order, right? To disrespect his mother in her house like that. And then she said, you know, she said, of course, then she said, I'm supposed to be a Christian. So now what do you expect me to tell you? You know, of course, even the Christian speech had gone. And she was just, you know, telling him some raw speech. But you know, she was angry, you know, and I can understand where she's coming from with that, with those feelings.
Yeah.
Because obviously she's realized and she's seen that she couldn't control that thing in him. And it's been there from a long time, which would then give way for those people who try to tell you that they're born like that and all that. They say, well, that's why. That's not even now a conversation. I don't care about that for now. All I know is that he cannot now turn around and say his mum is wicked, which is what he's trying now to put forward. So you see how she's kicking me out of the house, and you know, no. What about his responsibility to have behaved better than that?
Yeah.
Because let me put it another way and say, well, what about even if the mama had said to her son, don't bring a woman here and don't sleep with no woman in my house? Would that make it any better? Is he not still disregarding and disrespecting her rules by doing it? You know, so never mind even the preference part.
Yeah.
If she said don't be having sex with people inside my yard and you're not married to them anyway, if she said it, she said it. Like the little man in The Mandalorian, I have spoken. Those who don't know, you'll have to watch it, then you'll get it, what I'm saying, right? So she said what she said. But this is what I'm saying, that we now in an age and an era of society where you can't say anything, it's your fault.
Yeah.
So whenever they do wrong, people
You're not allowed to tell them.
people can behave wrong, they can say things wrong, live wrong. It's not, you can't tell them. So, and when you tell them, it's victim blaming.
Yeah.
You know, like the pictures that I had put on the thing. There's a man there. He's put his head inside the crocodile's mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And there's another one. He's put his hand inside the lion's mouth. If the lion decides that today he is a lion for real, you'll know where the rest of your arm is. If the crocodile decides that he is a crocodile for real, you will know where the rest of your body is. And now you can, oh, that's victim blaming. Is it? Because let me see how much money you think you could offer me for me to put my head in a crocodile's mouth. Yeah? Try me. Because I'm not interested in money that much. You know, we've seen, you know, I watched a thing of a circus, you see, and they were there, and I can't stand circus with animals anyway. I like the ones with the acrobats and all them things like that, but with the animals, I don't have any interest because they're tormenting those animals.
Yeah.
So they're there with lions and tigers, and it's like the tiger just looked around at that person and said, "Really, is it? You're there cracking your whip. I'll show you what you can do."
Yeah.
So they're crack, 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 crack with the whip. The tiger just came off the thing and just went for that person and locked onto their arm. Right? Locked onto their arm. And they're there firing water cannons at it. They're poking it with the spike stick, you know, with the what do you call it, like a cattle prod.
Yeah.
It's not letting go. It wasn't, and it. The thing is that the tiger was basically, let me put it in my vernacular, was trying to put the man under manners.
Yeah.
Because he could have just bitten the arm off. He didn't. He could have took the whole man inside his mouth. He didn't. He just gripped the arm, right? And was just saying, who's who now?
Yeah.
And wasn't letting go of it whatsoever. So, you know, obviously that arm was not in much good state either afterwards. But he didn't bite it off. He was just holding it. And you know, so they had to literally beat up the tiger, you know, for that man to get free. But the thing is, then now you did, oh, well, no, you know, it was just because the tiger was blah, blah, but no. Why are you tormenting the tiger? Shouldn't be there. It's what are you doing? circus my foot. I don't need to see a tiger in that environment. Move with your rubbish.
No, that just reminded me of, remember that gorilla that they killed, that Harambe?
Yeah.
Yes.
And they killed that gorilla because our child got into his enclosure.
Mm.
And when people were saying this once again, then it was, oh, you're disgusting. He's only a child. Where was his mother?
Where was the mother?
Or the father, or whoever the family or
Whichever
parental
adult
person.
child had to
Yeah,
do.
whatever
Exactly.
adult
Exactly.
supervision was going. Where
Where
was
was
it?
this
Where
adult
was it?
supervision?
Because that animal did not need to die. No.
You know, this is the last thing that I'm going to say, and then we'll be off. Yeah. My two daughters are here. I've got more children than these two, but I'll use these two for my example, because you know I said at the beginning that we're talking about personal responsibility, and if you like, in a way, there's also the parental responsibility within that context until that child is of an age where they can now start to take their own personal responsibility. So here's my thing now. These people who've gone around, you know, and they've lost their children here and there. Yeah. I'm not, and again, when you talk about it, you get those keyboard ninjas who jump up, you know, you're an animal, you don't care about people. And no, I'm a realist. These two, they will tell you, and Angelica can tell you more so because she's older than Tamar. Number one, you see, when my children were babies, don't bring your lips anywhere near, because I will take scissors and cut them off. You don't kiss my children whatsoever. Keep your dirty lips to yourself.
Alexis, that she had that bit what closes over the pram. It didn't open.
And you see now, they'll be like saying, "What do you mean by dirty lips?" Listen,
And she was born in May.
listen. A baby is a baby, right? And that's why they're a baby, because they're a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, you understand? They're a baby. They don't need your kiss. You're not their family. Furthermore, don't tell me when I'm telling you about dirty lips when you know what you do with your lips, right? And let's not go down that road, right? Keep your lips to yourself.
But that's the thing, because I wouldn't even think of kissing a baby that's not my family. I may hold
No.
them, but I don't kiss them because
I
I
don't
know
know why
that.
people
Do you know what I
other
mean?
people's babies.
But this is what I'm saying, and you know, nobody could get near you guys. It's not happening, right? Even for somebody to hold, oh, can I hold the baby? The answer was no. What for? Am I lying? I used to ask them all the time, no, what for? Just come and greet the baby from a distance, and that's good enough. Go about your business. I'm fine holding my baby. Right?
And that carrier was talking about it.
Oh yeah, yeah. There was no facing out to the world.
No, no, I had them facing me, right? And I had it stiff, right? So it was straight.
Yeah.
Because I'm not into all of that rubbish, you see? And that's only at that age. Now, when they're toddlers, right? And they're going about, toddling around and what have you, and you've gone shopping or whatever, where are they? I've seen people there walking and their child is trailing behind.
Yeah.
All of mine, they're in front.
Yeah.
And when I say in front, I mean they're almost like in between my legs. They're in front. And if they're not there, I stop and nobody's moving until they place themselves back in that position. And the rude one who decided that he's doing something different, we had reins for him, and we used to have him, you know, on the reins, Mr. Zakai. Right?
Or even had to put him inside the trolley.
Or we put him in the trolley where he can't get out, and we push him because he'd be running away. And I don't give them the opportunity to do that. So these people, they just run out, oh, I don't know where my child is. I don't know. Open your eyes and watch it. Nowadays, you see people, they're walking there inside their phone, all kind of rubbish is going on. Their child is somewhere else. That could not happen with my child.
But this is exactly it. Because I literally watched a video where
It's not
a lady
victim
was
blaming.
on her phone in a shop, like this, waiting in the line. Her child is now playing on some chairs behind her. Some man has come in, boom, gone with the child. Gone.
Yeah. Yeah,
completely gone. She
exactly.
even ran out the shop. She's looking. She can't find them. Then she's coming inside because it was like the CCTV camera, yeah, showing that they couldn't find the child because the man had
The
gone.
man, and he obviously
I
knew what
saw
he's doing.
something.
Yeah,
Knows
the
how to
man-
dodge the camera.
He even tried to grab the child from the dinner table with the family.
Yeah, I've
He
seen it.
jumped over the thing.
Yeah, I've seen it.
What kind of madness?
And somebody else punched him
Yeah,
down, didn't they?
yeah.
I've seen it.
See, but if the parent wasn't looking and that other person to punch
Yeah.
them down weren't there, then what? What would be
You
happening?
see, and none of that couldn't happen to me
Nah.
because
Oh, yeah.
I sit down with my children and I'm watching everybody that's passing, and my children are within arm's length, so
Yeah.
so they can't be too far. They have to be next to me,
Yeah.
close enough.
Oh, yeah.
And even when I was with enough of them, they still all had to be close.
Yeah.
Or we pick a table that's away from everybody else, and we're there where I can see what's going on. Oh, you're extra. No, I'm not, because that's why none of those things could happen to my children.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Listen, when we went to, we were coming back from Italy, no, mum and me, and we had the children with us, Joshua, Elijah, and Ariana, and Graham, and we stopped off somewhere to eat some food. You know, one of them services.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Once again, this was a time we didn't have to wear no mask. Funnily enough, so we stopped off at this service now, and there was 2 tables, but they weren't that close to each other. So I said, "Oh, you lot go sit over there with mum, and me and Graham will go and sit over there." Now, why do you think I'm saying that? Because I'm not gonna have the children sat some far place away
By
alone.
themselves.
No.
But people do that.
Yeah, they do.
And they do.
Yeah,
And they'll be like, "Oh, are you all right?"
See?
Shouting from the other side. What rubbish?
I watched the clip, right? And then the people start, and this is the thing, because now the people started talking, you know, some pure rubbish, you know, in the comments underneath.
They do.
And I felt like, God, I wish that sometimes I could put my hand inside Facebook and just slap them in their mouth. Some of these people. Now, there was a young girl. She was just like maybe early teens at the most. So she'd gone shopping with the mother and the grandmother, and you know, the mother and the grandmother just looking around in this shop, and the girl is busy just walking around aimlessly looking as well. So this dirty nastiness comes inside the shop. And by that, if you don't know what I mean a paedophile man. Right? So the man has come inside the shop, and you could see, because the CCTV, you could see he's dodgy from the way how he's looking.
Moving
And how he's moving, and he's looking at the girl. You see, so he's moved now, and he's taking his time, because he's already noticed that the mother and the grandmother are taking no notice of the girl whatsoever or where she is. So he's moved in closer and closer, right, until he's now behind the girl and feeling her up, and then rubbing up himself against the girl. You see, and then now when it looked like the granny or the mum was turning around, suddenly he's moved. Right? The girl hasn't said anything. It's like, in a way, when you look at it, and again, assumption, because you know, you don't know, she looked like she just froze. She didn't say anything to anybody. She didn't say anything to him. She didn't say anything to the mum or anybody else. So now the man has taken that as a green light to do it again. So when they've turned around and they're busy looking at their things, he's come again, you know, and then basically they've walked off. So now people start with their comments underneath with their rubbish. Oh, this is a big girl, teenage. She must have been enjoying it. She must know the man. It looked like she didn't, because she didn't even flinch. She didn't say a word. So just only a few people use their brain. Because remember, I told you some people leave it in their bedroom and then talk, you know, and said, look, how do you know that the girl, because there's this thing, if you know, fight or flight, and then there's freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
Because people only
Those
talk.
are the
People,
only
people,
talk about the
people
fight
only
and
talk
flight.
about fight or flight, but it isn't. It's fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah.
So how do you know that she wasn't frozen? But then, oh, her expression on her face doesn't tell you nothing. People smile and laugh even when they're depressed.
Yeah.
Robin Williams
Right there. Exactly.
was still making comedy, and where is he now?
Killed him.
Oh, so now, the where do you put the blame? You see, this is now the question. This is my final thing. I'm
Blame is on
a
the
God.
dirty nastiness.
Yeah, the blame is on the nasty, dirty, paedophile man, but the blame is on the granny and the mother because they're too busy looking at stuff in the shop.
Yeah,
Right?
you're not watching where she's
They're not
going,
watching
what
their
she's
child.
doing.
Even if she's getting big, I don't care.
No.
I don't care.
For even 1 minute, if I can't see you, I'm calling you. Where are you?
Right? I don't
And you
care.
better come in front.
In
where
this
I can see you go to the house.
in this day and age, you must be joking. If I've gone out to the shop with Alexis and she is 13, I don't care. If I can't see her, right? Are you joking? No. No. Because I don't want to even discuss with you what will happen to that man if I catch him.
Yeah.
Right? I don't wish to discuss that. So it's better that I look and see where she is and can tell her move and come and stand over here than I have to find that man and catch him.
Yeah.
Because you won't like to hear how that will go. Right? But no. And this is what I'm saying about responsibility. Where does it lie and so forth? Because you can't, that girl, it's not really her. She's still a girl. She's still a girl. The parents needed to say some things and
they're not even looking because do you think from the time I'm standing, if I let's say even Alexis was with me at the supermarket,
If I stop
and she's
stop.
she's behind me and I'm looking at something in the fridge. If I see anybody coming close or approach, I am looking, or I'm saying, move from there and come to the front because I can't see what's going on there. That is what you say. You don't just some strange man's close by. But anyway, maybe let's carry on looking at what I'm doing.
I'm like, no.
Get in front.
Get in front. I can't see you.
You can't be seen.
Get
And
in front.
it's not really about her. It's about other people.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, because unfortunately, the world that we live in now is nasty.
People
But I want to walk next to you, but I've got my hood on and I can't see that way.
Yeah.
So get in front.
But this is what I've tried to explain to people.
And when she reaches the age, but all this you need to tell the man. We don't need to tell him anything because he's going to do it anyway because that's the whole point. And plus, you know, and this is why I said because I've locked up rapists and there's nothing you can tell them. They're not really, you know, those rapists are not interested in what you have to say because
They don't care.
a vast majority of them don't think that they're in the wrong.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, you know, this was not really, I don't want to go into too much detail about that because maybe I could talk about my experiences on that line another time.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, I've met some proper wicked, nasty people and they make no excuse for what they did. It's somebody else's fault. When I listen,
because no amount of telling is going to work.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say because I believe experience teaches wisdom, or it ought to.
Yeah.
When I was training to be a prison officer, 1991, at training school, they said, "Oh, we need to one of the modules, so to speak, we had to talk about sex offenders." So they brought in, specialist officers, etc., to discuss about them, and then also to assess us in terms of our feelings about such a subject, and how would we respond if we had to look after those type of people, and so on and so forth. So then they showed us a video of this particular guy who was a prolific paedophile. The man looked like, and no, looks doesn't mean, but he looked like the typical. If somebody was asked, draw me a picture of a little dirty old man, right? What would he look like? That's how that man looked, right? From you look at him, because the spirit was emanating out of his face.
Exactly.
You know, from you look at him, even people who are not spiritual, they were watching the video and they were like, ugh! You know, and the man was there busy talking a whole pile of rubbish. They were interviewing him, and he's saying it's not his fault. And
American?
no, English, locked up here in the UK. And the man, you know, there was one case he was talking about, and he said no, and the girl was 10. And he said no, it's her fault. He said because you know she enticed me.
Yeah.
When I saw her, she had on a gym skirt and I don't know what and what, and yeah, and it was her fault. And anyway, I've been through this and I've been through that, and we looked at that man, you know, and people were like, if we ever go to that prison where he is, you know.
It's gonna get a little twisted out.
But the thing is, in all seriousness, why I'm even bringing it up is the fact that many of these people, if you're just going to say, oh, you've got to just talk to them, no. What we have to do is protect our girls, protect our women, protect our young people,
Yeah.
right? Because those people like him,
They're not going to stop.
they're not going to change. He'll do it again and again because he's blaming somebody else. But if now we can say we need to teach our young ladies, protect yourself better, you know, because like I was going to say to you two, and you know about Hyde Park, yeah, here in Leeds, there's no lighting in that park, right? And until today, I cannot understand why young women, students, are walking through that park at night. And then they complain that they're either sexually assaulted, raped, or mugged inside that park. There's no lights in there.
No. I walked through Potterluton Park one time.
Nice.
Yeah,
Forget
when it
it.
was dark.
And
And
that's
even then, I didn't go the full way because you know where the mid outing is. Yeah, that middle outing. I went out there and I was like, no, sprint. Yeah.
no. I'd rather just take my time. Even as a man, I'm not going to walk through there because I already know that, okay, I'm not scared, but it means I'm going to have to hurt somebody inside.
Yeah.
And why am I needing to do that?
Yeah.
Just walk around.
This is what I mean, because there's
You know?
even there's a tunnel. You know, it goes from my area to Asda area.
Mm.
You know that tunnel.
Yeah, and that tunnel, there's no lights in there.
Oh, forget
and
that.
there used to be lights. Now they've clocked.
Yeah, they smashed out the lights.
Yeah, bashed them
So
up.
then don't walk in it.
Exactly.
Just leave it.
Them
Yeah,
people
and
that are
that's
doing
why I
them
don't
nonsense
walk
in
through
there
there.
are the ones that mashed out the
Yeah.
So leave it. Let them stay in there by themselves. And this is what I mean. That now then people turn around and say, ah, you're victim blaming and you're being nasty to people.
They have to.
No. We're not.
Not common sense.
You know.
This world is evil and nasty.
And that's right. And some things you've got to take them into your hands yourself.
Yes.
You know.
You don't leave your front door open.
Years ago, and trust me, we're coming up to 2 hours, so we are done.
Yeah.
We're gonna finish. Years ago, when we'd not long moved here, they used to be robbing all the neighbours here, smashing their cars, breaking into their houses, and all this. Guys used to sit across directly over there on the steps, and I said, hang on a minute. I said, why have people never addressed this? Because this is what we're talking about, personal responsibility. We're just a victim. Oh, they just robbed. My neighbour next door to me, she was robbed 4 times. She's an old lady now anyway. But, you know, I said no. I stopped my car one day. I asked those guys that were sat there, I said, what are you sitting here for? None of your business. We can sit where we want. It's a free country. I said, why are you sitting opposite my yard? Who are you? Are you the police? I said, you'll find out who I am in a minute. Move from here and don't sit opposite my yard again. No, they can sit where they want and I can't tell them. I said, okay, good. Wait for me there then, because you can't hear. I went inside for a nice heavy baseball bat.
Yeah.
Right? And I came back out with it and I slammed it first on the bin so that they would know I'm coming. Boom! On the bin. Then I walked straight across the road with proper speed towards them. By the time I got to the step, they had already ran halfway.
They ran.
Up, right? And I said, yeah, good. Come back then if you're crazy. Because you'll see how crazy I am. Personal responsibility. And then I become the victim. And then you call the police turn around and say there's nothing they can do about it.
Pay your CCTV on your own property.
And there's no CCTV on this street and there's none on my, so I deal with it.
Yeah.
You see, and I'm not.
Otherwise, what?
I'm not advocating telling everybody go and get a baseball bat, but what I'm trying to say is that some things you've got to, you know, if you know it's dark and it's nighttime, get off your phone and be aware of your surroundings. Instead of chatting on your phone, you're there, la la la.
That's how
You're
you
inside,
even get
and
robbed.
you're gonna get robbed. Trust me, you're gonna get robbed.
Yeah. Go to London and do that.
Right?
And see
But
how
never mind,
fast
never
your
even
phone
mind
is
London,
going
even here. Even here.
This
Who?
is what I mean.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But even here, they'll do it. So you can't just leave those things and then afterwards, oh, well, why are you blaming the victim? You should, no, because then it's about telling them next time, because, okay, this has already happened, but next time, be aware. Get off your phone.
That's not
It's
blaming
dark.
them.
Don't even let them know you have a phone.
Exactly.
Or if, you know,
It's about learning from your mistakes.
these type of things. There, somebody's walking behind you, they're keeping pace with you, and they're walking behind you, and you don't know who they are. Well, then you need to do something. You can't just ignore it, and then later on something. Oh, I don't know. You know.
You already know, or I let them even pass.
I just stop. And
And
let them walk
in
past.
front,
And if they don't want to walk past, then I want to know why.
Yeah.
You know, and my mum, she, you know, God rest her soul, but my mum, you're joking, she was a soldier. A guy, she told me, a guy was walking up the bridge, she's walking in Cambridge, walking up the bridge. And the guy's walking, she said she's walking, the man is keeping pace with her.
Because that's what you test first.
Yeah, you know?
Then you speed up a little bit.
So she said she slowed down, he slowed down. She walked, speed up, so I said, weird. I know, my mum, in her, what is man a go on with?
Yeah.
You know? So she said she took her umbrella,
Yeah.
right? She just fixed up her umbrella nicely and just, you know, gave it a good little pace so the man could come up a bit close. She just swung around and licked him in his face with the umbrella. So that's what you want.
Yeah.
So, you know, whatever he was looking for, he couldn't look again.
Found something
See?
else.
But now some people will become a victim, and then now if you say to them, you should have been aware. And I'm not saying that you must behave like my mum did, because, you know, but you don't just
go in the shop.
You know, go in the shop.
Kind of things.
You know, and don't come out.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've said enough.
Any
So.
good shopkeeper, if you say to them, I think
someone's following me, they're not going to tell you to come out, or they may even call the police.
Yeah,
you know.
You don't have to just be aware and alert and stop trying to say all this. Oh, we need to tell them. No, we need to tell everybody.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah,
it's not just tell
everybody.
the man
And
or the abuse.
That's right. And we're not victim blaming by saying it. We're just trying to tell the ladies, you know, who are ending up being assaulted and mugged and all these type of things. Watch yourself and be careful.
Yeah.
You know, and it's better to be suspicious of everybody than not.
Yeah.
Let them prove themselves to be somebody else.
Online dating and all these things.
No.
People, listen, I literally saw a thread the other day of people saying, this girl this man was speaking to me online and he kept trying to tell me to come and see him at his house. And I told him I'm not coming to his house. He then started to get angry, saying, why won't I come? And I'm messing up this potential relationship and all this rubbish. And she said that she just replied to him, you're not killing me today or any day. So dream on. And then blocked him off.
There you go.
But if she had gone there, what would he have done? Because what no normal sane person would get angry.
It's an obsession.
Yeah.
It's like he's becoming obsessed with her.
Yes, exactly. And this is how careful you have to be. Because online they're looking normal to a certain extent, aren't they?
Anyway, good night. God bless. See you next time.
Right.